Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in the world on this very fine Independence Day. That's right, Independence Day, July 4th, year 4. We earned our freedom 4 years ago. You heard it here first, folks. Anyway, we are back in the world with some exciting news. Two big things happened in terms of mods. One is that the mod author of Crateful has updated Crateful to 1.19.3, and so we are now able to interact with Crateful the same way we did before, which is great because it is a wonderful mod, and it makes crates just so much more pleasant to use. The other is that the mod author of the slanted display cases, Defro 5, has updated their mod to the current version of Vintage Story. And I think these look snazzy once again. They got in touch with me and asked my opinion on whether I thought they should keep the bar here on all of these sides here. And let's take a look at the display case out here. I thought that it looked better without the bar, because with the bar where it was, you basically ended up with a bar like right in front of what you're trying to look at. And so it kind of just got in the way. And I think it looks great. They also went a step further. And if you look in the handbook under slanted display cases, you'll see that they actually created models or alternate models with textures for all the different kinds of wood. So if you're looking for a very fancy display case, look no further than the slanted display case mod. And look at Bert up there in the corner. Bert, how are you? Are you enjoying your web? Today's your day, Bert. Today is your day because we are going to start working on the final room of our house. Final room and the final construction of our house. And that's going to go right here. Because we are starting to get ready for kind of sunsetting this series, and I want to finish up the house, or the Hobbit hole as it were. I want to get things in their place, and then I want to just set this place up so that it looks good for when we turn this world off for the final time. And to that end, I have started doing some cleanup out here. I started arranging some of the trees out here in sort of the way that I want them to be. I put some birch seeds down here and in this corner here. And I think it would be fun to do something out here at some point before the end of the series. I also chopped down all but one leaf block, apparently, of these bamboo groves. I didn't like the look of the bamboo. It was just there as a farm anyway. And we have more bamboo than we will ever need in this world, so I figured let's take them out. But I think we will eventually take down, say, these redwoods here and the capox over there, and just kind of put some more native trees and maybe move the exotic trees to somewhere else, maybe even just farther away. But that is for another day, another episode, because today we are going to focus on this area in here. And we're going to build from start to finish the room up here. And we're going to wall it off down here and make all the connections necessary that we're going to need for this over here. And because of the changes to the sheep, thank you for demonstrating sheep, we're going to be making some changes to the pens in here. And that is, we're going to have to just take these walls pretty much the whole way up. I don't like it. I think it looks kind of ugly and silly, but it's what we're going to have to do to keep this from happening. Hello, sheep. So then, Corazar, what kind of plans do you have for this area up here? Well, as I told Bert, it is his day. And I had been thinking originally about turning this area up here into a kind of hunting lodge or something, maybe like another greenhouse, but I didn't want to sort of rehash greenhouses, and I figured, you know what, we're not a hunter. Why would I have a hunting lodge? And what room does a tinkerer need that we don't have? That's right, a workshop. So I thought we could sort of make this area do not just double, but actually triple duty, because I was thinking we could kind of leave a little space out here for like a little patio, maybe even like copy the tea set from down here to up here, maybe minus the actual teacups on the table. But over on this side, we could have a little sort of a garage or pen for Bert. Assuming I can get him in here, which is kind of not guaranteed at this point. And then on this end, we could have our Tinker's Workshop, and we could fill it with all of the kind of ruined things and devices we found on our adventures, especially over to the Resonance Archive. And then the roof, which will be probably one block lower than this one, so it's sort of an intermediary step. The roof could be repurposed and expanded to have some more fruit trees. And maybe even a couple up here. We could have like a little staircase that brings us to the roof level here, and then maybe a little step up onto that top roof area, just so we don't have to climb up the roof itself to get here. But we do have just sort of so much unused space here, and while I'm tempted to put some larger trees up to kind of make this not be the only big fish in town, or big tower in town as it were, I think it wouldn't make sense realistically to have large trees around the windmill. We'd want smaller trees so that they wouldn't block the wind. I'm not sure if tall trees even block wind in the game, or tall anythings block wind, but in case it does, I want to avoid it. Alright, you've heard everything there is to hear about the plan. I think it's time for us to say, let's get to it. The first thing I want to do is I want to bring this part of this floor down just one block, which means we probably will need to take out all of the cob we have going on here, and probably just bring this out to here. That should be plenty. Bert doesn't take up that much space. And we'll do the same thing over on this. Oops, oh, no. Oh, can't do that. What can we do about that? I'm not even sure. For now, let's plug that. And let's do, I guess, this. Oops. You're closer than I thought you were. There we go. It's a near miss. I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to sort of put some shelving or something on this side to block that up, just so that doesn't happen again. Or we could just make this wall 2 blocks thick, because we have plenty of room here. And you know what? You know what? That might be just what I do. I don't think we need all this room, because this is a pretty big workshop, going from here all the way over to here. So yeah, let's just say that will make this room 1 block smaller. I'm going to fill some of this back in, because we're going to want to have blocks filled in here, just so we don't get things spawning in here. We'll call it a day. Alright, so our canvas is prepped for the moment. But before we get into the room here, let's go ahead and we're going to just take care of kind of the lame stuff first. I'm going to go ahead and patch all this up and just bring most of these walls to the ceiling. I just don't trust the sheep, and I've even seen them popcorning out, and the pigs as well. So we're just going to make sure that everybody here is closed in. And I could do that, I suppose, with glass here. But, oh, hello. But I still want to be able to maybe get up on this ledge, although I really haven't needed to. Yes, hello. Cock your head at me like that. You know what? You know what? How much glass do I have? Where's that glass? Well, I can always make more. So I need not much more than we have. You know what? Let's do it. I'm just going to glass all these guys in. That's right. I'm glassing all of you in, and there's nothing you can do about it. So let's just get that done, because I like the idea better. I was really worried. I didn't want to lose sort of the roominess of the space. And so, yep, exhibit B right there. I just didn't want to lose the airiness of this and have just gray stone the whole way up. Let's just be mean. And there's the glass. Nope. There's the glass. Let's get some glass going on. And I'll probably need some more, so I'll go ahead and prep that. I'm kind of low on quartz here, but we'll make do. And a heavy temporal storms emerging. Great. That's 1 out of 2. We are going to need some more glass, but I am far less worried about the pigs than the sheep. Okay, fences are down. Let's just put some in these corners to prevent popcorning. And then I guess we'll fill in the rest of these a little bit like this. And I'm going to go start up the rest of that glass, or that quartz. I might even steal some clear quartz to do another couple batches. Let's get that going on. Okay, with that said and done, let's take a look. Yes, this is the sort of airy look that I wanted to have the whole time. So, yeah. Okay, go gadget glass, huh? Now, out here, what I think I want to do is I do want to get that granite back out, because I think for the wall right here, I want this to kind of be a granite wall, just sort of block off the rest of the hallway, so it doesn't feel like it's just one giant mashup of a room. So I'm going to bring this wall up a little bit and kind of bring in this corner here, and then probably here I might do some kind of little archway or something. I'm not quite sure yet, although I could probably sneak something in. Well, maybe not, because that would actually be in this step here. I didn't leave enough room for a wall, did I? I did not. That was foolish of me, but that's okay. Let's just get this extra bit of wall in here, and we're going to call it a day after that. So we have a bunch of cobblestone. I don't think, did I do dry stone here? I did some dry stone. Okay. So let's get a bit of all this in here and make this look like it belongs. There we go. I think that works out pretty well. And then while we're here and I have this in my hand, let's go ahead and we'll first of all bring this pillar down just so it looks consistent, and then we will get the rest of this wall in here. There we go, looking more consistent already. Alright, well, I'm going to go and weather this temporal storm in our new storm shelter, and we are going to see how it goes. I'm not going to record it because I want to focus today on getting all of this other stuff done, but I'll report back with whether or not we get any drifter spawns, which reminds me, I'll get my armor just in case, as well as whether and what bonus parts we get from any double headers that show up. I'll see all of you in a little bit. Alright everyone, temporal storm over, and the damage report is we actually got a donut sub-assembly, and I think we need this one for something. I'll have to check. Let's see. You are for the teleporters. Okay, I wasn't really going for those, but if it's one of the ones that we make, then sure. We got 2 gears, 2 temporal gears, and 10 flax fibers. I barely managed to get the double-headed drifter to show up right before the storm ended, and killed him, and he disappeared as I was looting his body. I'm going to get in here, though. I'm going to make up some more food, because I want to use up some of my cheese and get my dairy and grain protein up. So I'm kind of thinking of cheese pies. And I'll get back with all of you when we're ready to start working on our workshop. Alright, everyone, with cheesy pies in hand, I think it is time for us to accidentally sneak up the stairs and get to work on this workshop. So we're going to start by getting the floor in, because the floor is going to inform kind of the height of ceilings and other odds and ends. So let's do that. I have here a kind of small build palette. I think we'll add some things to it, like some limestone for ceiling and a couple other odds and ends, but I don't want the build palette to take away from the decorations that are going inside, which will be things like the ruined objects in here and the decorative stuff like the candle stubs and locust head that we have in this box here. So again, we're going to have some andesite in a couple different flavors, probably focusing on the smooth rock. And the reason is that along the front of this house here, we have a lot of noise in the form of these bricks here, or these ashlar, sorry. Of course, why does it say stone bricks? Oh, because it's a chisel block, so it keeps its old name, I guess. The light mud brick here. We have all this cobble and dry stone, and here we go, ashlar. I think it would be nice to have a section that's relatively smooth. And the andesite will give us a chance to do that and also kind of have a different color. We have a lot of warm colors here. I think the andesite will help cool that down in conjunction with some of this blue clay brick here around the window. With that being said, let's get some of this out of here. Let's get our saw on, our sawzall. Now, you may have noticed that our floor up here, or the ceiling up here, I should say, is actually one block higher and is protruding into the space that we're going to need to modify for our current design. And of course, this is the ceiling of the room below, with some wonderful leaves poking through. So we're going to just chisel probably some of these blocks a bit. Yeah, not probably, but definitely. Let's go ahead and just get that done here. We're going to add in some of the walnut here on top. And I realize I'm doing this before I have the walls in, and we are going to have some separating walls here, but you know, we have boatloads of walnut. It is not going to be a problem. Now, you might notice here that I have filled these blocks with not full blocks, but slabs. And that is because the wonderful geniuses over at Inigo Studios have figured out how to make the material limit based on a per block basis in each or of each material. That means that we can now mix two slabs together, make a double slab like this with the chisel, and it'll work. So no more fiddling around with really annoying block sizes and trying to finagle blocks together like we did with the kitchen when I was trying to get the trim going on in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of this floor in, and I'll see all of you on the other side. And I am not sure why I put full blocks here. Okay, here we go, folks. So this is the canvas we're working with. We will have a wall here that will cut all this off here. We'll have walls here and here, one for Bert's little place and then one for our workshop. So largely we have this kind of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 49 blocks of floor space to do all of our dirty work here. Yeah, that's plenty. Now, for joining this up here, I think I'm going to probably just bring a pillar down here and here on either side of these and bring them straight to the floor. Now, I do want to see, it might look funny if I use a different color pillar right near the ebony, but let's see how pine looks first before I make any harsh judgments and snap decisions. Wouldn't want to be hasty, like hobbits are according to Ents. No, I think that works okay. What I think we'll do, though, is we're probably going to trade this edge of the floor for stone. So I'm going to go ahead and just knock this out of here. Now, let's get the rest of this done. I want to transition from the walnut to the pine, which is handy because I have this walnut trim around here. Although these are larch planks, apparently, which is interesting. Is there larch in these? There is no larch in these, and yet... Oh, because I copied them from the chisel blocks over here from this stairwell. Okay, that makes more sense. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get that in here. I'm going to copy these stairs up to here. And for these stairs, I don't really know yet. I'm not sure what I want to do with these. I might just do some regular birch slab stairs down into here and do a bit of a smoother transition. Yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, there we go. A little transition with a staircase down. I will probably put a door in here. That will come in a little bit. Let's get the walls in here and see what this place starts to look like as we fill things in. And there we go. So we have a closed-in room for the most part. And as I was building this, I think I know what we're going to do here. We could try chiseling these blocks. However, because I want to be able to plant on them, and I'm not sure if we can plant on chiseled dirt blocks, I think what we'll do is we'll do the same thing we did in here. We'll just take a thin sliver of ceiling and we'll slap it in right under this dirt here. But let's go ahead and get the exterior done real quick because I have the roof blocks for it right here. I want to bring in some nice dark slate, and I think we have plenty of it. If not, I have plenty more slate where it came from. And now I got to figure out how to get up to the roof from here. I can also go outside on this side of the house and run around. And there we go. Let's step back a little bit, take a look. Yeah, I could almost do to increase the height of those windows a little bit. Make them full squares. Let's try that and see how that looks. Oh yeah, much better. A nice little protrusion of the house, excuse you bushes. I think that's fun. It's like a totally different piece of the house, kind of patchwork, just like the rest of our house tends to be. And let's see how it looks from the front here. With the purple doors closed and fully visible. Yeah, let me get up here. Take a look at this. Oh yeah, perfect. It kind of pulls some of this color up into here. And I actually like how mismatched it is. Definitely this is an addition to the house. Made by, you guessed it, us. Now, I am going to bring some of this out of here eventually. Let's just do it while we're here. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so for our staircase here, let's get these knocked out, along with at least some of the ceiling we got going on here. And let's just go ahead and I'm going to put this in as kind of a placeholder for where the slope in the room's going to be. Yeah, Bert won't like it, but he doesn't have to. You know what? Bert might just get a single wide window like that. And we will fill this in with one of you and one more of you. Yep. That's what Bert gets. Okay, folks. So it is time for us to get some ceilings in here. And we're going to do that by using some more larch. I think we're going to go for larch because of, again, the nice airy feel. And I think it's a pretty good stand-in for limestone down here. Let's go ahead and get all this in here. And then I think I've got a bit of a plan for what to do about the dirt above these windows. I think we can kind of fix that a little bit. Let's, of course, get our pantograph that apparently we already had on our person. Silly me. And we are going to just take a snapshot and do this like we did in the hallway. That does mean we won't be able to hang anything on the walls up here, but I think that's okay. So there's that. To make Bert's room just a tiny bit less claustrophobic, let's also go and we're going to copy these blocks here. Well, one of them at least. Let's throw those in here. And let's give them a rotate. And there we go. We have a somewhat less claustrophobic room a little bit there. And I don't know that Bert actually needs a dedicated light. So let's grab this guy. I think we're going to put this lantern, oh, maybe there. That will illuminate this part of the room here and this part of the stairs. Yeah, I think we're pretty good on light there, which will free up this lantern. I could have sworn I had a fourth lantern too, somewhere. There you are. That gives us a fourth lantern to put somewhere out back here. And we were using, what, molybdenum chalcose, I think? Yes. I need something right there because I keep getting rifts right there. So we'll deal with that in a bit. And I just realized we're going to have some doors here to keep this actually sealed off. And this is going to be an open stairwell, which probably doesn't bode well for, rain. But maybe we have some secret method of drainage in here that no one's aware of yet. We could maybe have some trap doors here that we say we might close. You know what? That's a good idea, actually. I might do that. But in the meantime, let's get our stairs going on. We're going to use some walnut for the stairs to keep things simple and to keep the floor consistent. Let's do a few stairs. So basically here, and there, and here will be stairs. That of course leaves a few blocks of walnut here. So like that. And then this can be a problem except that we just copied these over here. So let's copy them again. Of course it's already saved in here. We're going to do a bit of that. And then spin these guys. That should give us the leeway that we need to drop a couple of slabs in here. Like so. And then chisel them back to make some stairs that work. And that way it isn't a head bunker. And then I am going to have to bring this down a block to there. And that way we can then, almost as a staircase already. Now, since this is ashlar, I am going to see if we can get away with just doing this. I don't know if we can. Yeah, mostly. It's okay. But let's just do this anyway. There we go. Much better. So let's get 4 sets of doors in here. I think I'm going to make them out of redwood for a splash of color. And let's see how they look. Wow, no. Those actually do not work. Those do not work at all. Let's try something a bit more neutral, perhaps, like an oak. I don't think walnut is the way to go here either. Whew. That just kind of hurts the eyes. Let's pick something else. Okay, yes, very much so better. And that's because if you watch the video on color theory and how to apply that in your builds, orange and blue, which we have orange from the pine and blue from the andesite, are complementary colors. They're both pretty low in saturation or chroma, so you can actually kind of work them together pretty closely and it'll work out pretty well. The redwood was just kind of a little bit too far off the orange and too much into the red and kind of pink with some magenta undertones. That kind of, I think, kept it from really working out very well. Now, I think I figured out what I can do for the windows here, at least on this side of the build. On this side, I have a different plan, but over here, what we can do is we can say, hey, you know what? It's funny having, like, dirt right here, so why don't we dig this up a little bit? And we can just replace it with some cobblestone of the andesite variety. And that way these windows will fit right in, no problem. We don't have dirt looking like it's going to fall into our house. Even though we have rain coming into the house, we just have an invisible drain right here. You can't see it. And that way, our windows don't look ridiculous. In fact, we can actually just remove this extra ceiling altogether. Ah, much better. Now, I think for the most part, our lives here will be spent with these 2 doors open and these 2 closed. This one to keep Bert from wandering, and this one to keep things from wandering into the house from outside. But I think it's about time for us to get to kind of getting out the main decorations in here. I want to put like a table and some cabinets, or at least some countertop in, and just sort of see what all kind of things we can fill this room with. But before we do, since I have the glass and I have a moment to do so, let's just glass these pigs in once and for all. Ah. Done. Oh, and I think we need some birch right here. Go get some of that. Ah, there we go. Now I think we are finally done with the barn part. I think we are complete here. So yeah, I'm going to get some decorations going on and we're going to fill that room. Alright everyone, I've gathered our clutter blocks in here. At least the ones that seem appropriate for the area. There's like some ruined beds I don't think we really need. And I was trying to figure out what kind of color shelves I wanted to do. And I think what I want to do is I'm going to go with mostly the bald cypress. But I might use the kapok as sort of like end pieces. Maybe like taller bits of shelving. And the reason is that I was thinking maybe aged wooden slabs. Because they look really nice and stressed. But the problem is that they're kind of the same color as most of the clutter blocks. So I didn't want to take away from their appearance. So we're not going to do these guys. I thought of doing some more kapok then. But the kapok is kind of similar in tone to the ceiling. It's like a darker version of larch almost, much more saturated. And I thought that might be a bit too much of that color. But what if we did something a bit like this, where we have maybe some vertical bits on the corners, here and here, and here and here. Knock you out. And then in between, we have this sort of stressed bald cypress. It's got these sort of spots on it, so they might be like accidental drill holes, or we splashed some acid or some glue or something, and they're either just mucking up the wood or eating through it. I think this could be pretty nice. There we go. That's pretty nice. And then I think in the middle here, I want to put a table of some kind. Although it's going to get a bit tight if I do that. So maybe we'll just skip this bit over here. Make the room a little bit less symmetrical in all aspects, in all respects. And let's put our table over here instead. There we go. Now we have 2 blocks of walking space all around it, so that when we start cluttering things up, we'll still have at least 1 block of walking space. And let's turn this into a bit more of a proper table. Of course, using our chisel and hammer. Let's make this into a basic, sturdy, but rather rough workshop table. Remember, this is sort of our junk table. We're not going to be doing anything fancy with it because it's just going to get damaged if we do. And here is where we can work on the things that we don't really want Bert seeing, although I realize we put some windows in these doors. Maybe that wasn't a wise decision, but maybe we're working on building Bert. Friend. Yeah, look at that. Poor other Bert. Got his nose all pulled off of him. Maybe we're trying to figure out how to use a Jonas lamp to kind of turn into a new Locust's body. And let's see, what else do we have here? Ruined chamber, a broken anvil. How about the chamber? Maybe we're scavenging some parts from the chamber. Yeah, we're scavenging parts from this guy. And maybe we can turn that into a body for new Bert. And we've been working so hard that we burned a ton of candles down to next to nothing. And I've been looking at these great blocks over here, this wonderful lighting, and I was trying to figure out a way to fix it. I think our options are going to be either remove these, which looks kind of funny, a little short, or just run this all the way to the ceiling. And I think that's a better option because that gives the top of the room a bit more interest. Since these walls have to be bare up on the top here, I think this helps kind of offset that a little bit. And there we go. So let's get some more clutter in here. And I'm not sure why these don't stack, but cool. And let's make this feel like a messy workshop. All right, folks. Our messy workshop looking pretty messy. I can think of a couple odds and ends I might like to add. Although some of them would be like adding up here, like say cobwebs and so on. But I think this looks like we're taking apart some odds and ends to see if we can build a newer, better Bert. I think we could go for maybe a planter in here with some heather for a splash of a different color. As if we're like, hey, you know what? This is really ugly. This will fix it. It'll totally fix it. And it doesn't. But it makes the view coming into the room, I think, a bit more pleasant. Now, what to put along this wall? Maybe some shelves for that wall. We have some extra crates too. Oh, yes, you bet. Some more crates. I forgot I even had these. Here we go. Some crates. I'd completely forgotten about crates. Stack these up, baby. Yeah, that's better. Oh, that's so much better already. Maybe a shelf here and 1 or 2 here. Yeah, let's leave this part open, just in case we need to get into this thing for whatever we totally store in it. And I don't have much for the shelves, at least not to put on them, but I can think of one thing that maybe could go there. And actually, I thought of a few things that could go here. So one, let's put a diamond on here, as if we're using diamonds and peridots and stuff for like focusing crystals, or maybe just for, you know, grinding into dust for sandpaper. I don't know. Maybe we're using some cinnabar as an experiment, or just pigment for writing, and maybe some resin for glue, and some beeswax for like lubricant for whatever parts we're putting together here. But there we go. That kind of fills that out a little bit. I think it works. Okay, now let's get up to our roof here, where I had a couple odds and ends I wanted to do here. I wanted to do, first of all, I want to plant some cherry tree saplings, or cuttings. Let's do one there, and one there. That gives us enough space to get it all. And then we'll put one like right over here. I guess kind of off center from this. I don't want it to block the view of the window too much. There we go. And I did plant some of the Mediterranean cypress saplings, or seeds originally, outside the window, so they should grow in just a few days. 6, 5, and 7, not too bad. And in order to cover this up, what I'm thinking is we're going to do something that I think we can do now. Let's chisel you. Oh, ho, ho. Very nice. So, we have chiseled these dirt blocks, but you can see they're still green. Let's dig these two up. Uh-oh. Ah, we do. Oh, great. So, in theory, what we can do here is if we chisel these guys as well, we can then add... Oh, dear. Apparently not. Maybe we can pick these up with the pickaxe instead and combine them in the inventory. Yes, there we go. Okay. Let's see how this works. Very nice. Look at that. Drop some soil there. And while these two, I don't think we'll ever grow grass on them, tall grass, at least they will look normal. They'll look good. And that is the method I want to use over here to kind of hide the fact that we have gross dirt touching our windows. Let's go grab some larch, and we'll just replace these 3 blocks here with something similar to what we're doing over here. And like that, you would never know that this dirt block is actually a larch slab. And with a bit of further application of gravel path leading up to our little staircase here, and having planted our cherry tree cuttings, I say we are done with this roof. Now that leaves a bit of work down here. We need to clean a bit of this up. We got some dirt blocks. I want to just sort of bring this sandstone cobble up to the ceiling, and I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up and show you all what it looks like when we're done. Alright everyone, here is our finalized hallway and barn entrance. As you can see, I kind of missed one little detail right here. Boop. And on this side too, most likely. There we go. But as you can see, I primarily smoothed everything out in here. This was just a lot of touch-up work, nothing you haven't seen before. I copied our stairs here to down here, as you can see. I put up a granite dry stone fence wall in between these 2 pillars here, and just brought this down into our basement. So we now have a full entryway, and I guess I could fix this a little bit too. And that there's about as good as it gets. But that is such a small deal, I don't think we'll ever notice much, especially because I don't come through here very often. But yeah, just sort of smooth all this out. Everything looks like it belongs now. I have a bit of a safety railing up here, just so we don't like run up here and fall off. And I think it's time for us to put the final bits in place, and that would be Bert. Alright, you need to move to somewhere a little less obtrusive. Maybe Bert needs a table. Let's put a picture up here. Let's put Bert's bed right there. And let's go grab us a table to put this lantern on. Now Bert can have some light here. Let's go see if we can entice Bert from his webby perch up to his new room. Come on, Bert. It is your day. You are on follow. Can you follow me now? Will you follow me now? Hey, there you go. Come on up, dude. Where are you, little buddy? Hey, you're in. Oh, man. Wait. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Bert is in his room. You can stay right there, buddy. Yep. And he's in. All right. Well, that was fun. I am enjoying our little cluttered workshop here, full of all kinds of junk. And our new rooftop up here. And the view of the house from all sides. I might put a bit of this roof kind of across here, actually. Come to think of it, that might make it fit a little bit better. But overall, I am very happy with how this is all coming out. Let's take a look down here. Yeah, here's a little addition to the house. Absolutely. Absolutely. And now we have a fully enclosed barn. All of our animals are now glassed in completely because, well, reasons. And of course we still have this little window over here for letting fun animal scents out the door. And I think we can call this complete. As you can see, I came in here and I was going to kind of bring this hallway down to the end here, but I decided against it because that would be kind of weird for the room in there. That's the dining room. And I figured, hey, you know what? I have a bunch of extra support beams. Let's go ahead and use those. And I think it actually helps. I think it works out pretty well. So yeah, we got our lighting in here. And everything here is pretty open and airy, and I like that. And then we come up here, and now it's claustrophobic again. Perfect. Neener, neener, neener. And in a few days, at least, we'll be able to see what those trees look like here. Even if we won't be able to see what the fruit trees look like upstairs on top of the roof until next year. Now, I do want to come in here. Do I have any loaded chocolate plates or not? I do not. I have an iron plate. I have some ingots. You know what? Let's go ahead and hammer out a plate. That way we can put a lantern out on that far bit of the wall out behind the house and just put an end to the rift that seems to spawn there every other day. Okay, out here we go, and we're going to put this lantern right about here, I think. That should keep that rift at bay. And I think with these trees having grown, our backyard is looking better and better. We do have a while to wait on these guys here, so hopefully they will sprout before the end of the series, but if not, I'll probably sort of advance some time at the end of the series so we can see what the house looks like after everything is all grown up. Well, everyone, that is about all the time we have for this episode of the Vintage Story Guide. I hope you enjoyed joining me on this adventure in building our workshop and finally fully enclosing our barn space. Bert finally has a home, and with our barn space finally closed in, our home now has no rooms or spaces remaining on the inside that need to be attended to and built. Not to worry, we still have some outside areas to work on and some adventures to go on before we call the series done. If you enjoyed the episode, let me know by leaving a like or a comment below, and I'd love to have you subscribe if that's your thing. As always, my name has been Corazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.